Okay, now we will talk about if-then else statements, and we'll talk about the first branch, basically if it is true. Here's where I define my variable, and this is Fred and Wilma from the Flintstones. And what happens is if this variable is equal to Fred, then it'll say Wilma, otherwise it will say no Fred here. And phi is, in Old English, it's Old English for fooey, but in Bash, it's the end of an if statement. The idea is if and then if backwards. Hey, I didn't make it up. Okay, so let's take this and let's run selected text. Okay, since we set this equal to Fred, it calls Wilma. Here it repeats it, then it calls Wilma. Okay, let's try the second one. Second one, I'll change my variable to Barney, and Barney is not Fred, so it should say no Fred here. Let's see what happens. Okay, and it says no Fred here. Okay, now, when I say I'll throw you a curve, look very closely at these quotation marks. You'll find out they're curved because I copied and pasted them from Word. So if you copy and paste something for Word, sometimes you'll run into this problem. It'll run you nuts till you figure out what's going on with it. Run selected check. It said no Fred here. Well, it said no Fred here because you notice it included those little curly quotation marks because it thought it was part of the variable. Okay, and Boots is going to join us for this one. Nope. Cats are cats. Okay. So now you have equality versus assignment, and you have to use equal for numbers. Okay. And we'll run this. And you notice that this is for numbers, so it complains because it said it expected an integer expression, and it wasn't, so it got upset. Now let's see if it will. Let's see if it'll do the other thing that you can, if you're not sure this happens with PowerShell. That if you notice, okay. Anyway, so you have just keep in mind the difference between equals and equals spread out. Now, when you do something like PowerShell, you'll also run into this problem. Okay, so we talked a little bit about equality versus assignment. The next step will be to talk about Booleans and how they work in Bash.